Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to go forward and accomplish that dream. It's October now. We coming to the end of October, moving into November, December. The next thing you know, it's the new year. 2023 is here. Time flies. And I've been vocal on this podcast before about how I personally have battled seasonal depression for most of my life. The past 2 years has been pretty good, but I feel like this year, 2022, is trying to come back with a vengeance. It's trying to get its lick back. It's trying to get it back in blood. As people say nowadays because of the popular song. But I see a lot of other people battle seasonal depression as well. It might be something with, the temperatures getting colder. It might be something with the days getting darker, faster. But nonetheless, I noticed that a lot of other people, individuals have voiced on social media or personally to me directly that they too battle seasonal depression. And in my life personally, I can't really pinpoint one particular thing that causes my seasonal depression. All I know is whenever fall hits, and I love fall, ironically, it's my favorite season, but whenever fall hits, whenever we get into those September, October, November, December months, my energy tends to shift. I feel myself becoming less productive. I feel myself becoming more anxious. I feel myself becoming more sad. My running routines, my workout routines tend to slow down. I'm aware of all of these things, so therefore I can combat this seasonal depression better than I could in the past. But nonetheless, it's still there. It's still pervasive. It still tries to creep up. And it's even worse and compounded when you're an entrepreneur. When you're trying to build a business, when you're continually still trying to bring in revenue and generate profits and pay your bills and all of these things, it's compounded because now you have all of these things to worry about, But one thing that I've been telling myself and coaching myself on is, in the past, when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when I was in college, and my seasonal depression would hit me like a sack of bricks, it would make me feel a certain way. And now here I am in my adulthood. Here I am I'm an entrepreneur. I'm knee deep in my entrepreneurial journey. I'm still grinding, still pushing myself forward to get to the level that I want to get to and accomplish the goals I want to accomplish. But when I have a bad day or when there's a bad moment, it triggers me. Because you see, in the past, no matter how bad that seasonal depression was, no matter how traumatic it may have been, we survived it. And I'm not trying to say your feelings or my feelings were invalidated, but nonetheless, we survived it. We survived those experiences because we're here today. We're still alive. We still have breath in our lungs. We still have a sound mind. Our heart is still pumping. We still have ideas. We survived it. So in the present day, when things trigger us, we tend to get tense like we did in the past. It tends to try to revert our minds back to that feeling of vulnerability, back to that feeling of we can't do anything to salvage our situations, or back to no one is there for us, no one is in our corner, God doesn't hear what we're going through. We tend to revert back to that past tense, even though we already past that point and we are surviving right now in the present, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand something, that yes, the seasonal depression is real. Yes, your anxiety may be a real feeling, but nonetheless, you are still here. You are still winning. The past is literally that. It's the past. Right now, you are in the present. And because you are in the present, you have to understand and realize that the same faith that you leaned into in the past, the same prayers that you prayed for in the past, are the same prayers that's circulating around your head right now, blessing you and anointing you and pouring those blessings upon you. You might not be able to see it right now. It might be hard to understand and receive that right now. Trust me, I know, because seasonal depression is real. Anxiety is real. Bad days are real. But the reality is, on top of all that realness, is that we are still here in the present and we are still going to be able to overcome this just as we overcame everything else in the past. Past tense has no merit on what you are doing right now in the present. You may be battling seasonal depression right now in the present. You may be anxious right now in the present. You may be going through all these things right now. These things are facts. I'm going through it myself. But what also is real is that your dreams are real. This business is real. Your aspirations is real. Your faith is real. Just as it blessed you before, just as God pulled you out that slimy pit before, God is going to pull you out the slimy pit again. You have to trust and believe that, because God isn't a God that does something one time. God is a God that does things repeatedly over and over. And as long as you remain faithful, as long as you continue to tell yourself every single day that no matter what hits you today, you are going to hit harder. Yes, seasonal depression is real, but I'm still going to run. I'm still going to walk. I'm still going to jog. I'm still going to write. I'm still going to journal. I'm still going to do whatever I can do to make myself feel better, to be productive. It's not about being productive for the sake of money or merit or material things. It's about being productive for yourself and for your spirit and for your soul, so you can be a better individual and you can cut through this seasonal depression and you can smack this seasonal depression right back to where it came from. It doesn't matter if the days get darker sooner. It doesn't matter if the temperature drops colder and colder. What does matter is your spirit still burns with that fire. You still have integrity. You still have ingenuity. You still have enthusiasm. You still have faith. That's what matters, regardless of the external forces around you. Regardless of the past tense, the past anxiety, the past depression you suffered in the past, you survived it and you are surviving it right now. You still gonna take some hits. You still gonna take some lumps. You still gonna have moments of doubt, but that doubt is fleeting. Your confidence, your assurance, your faith is forevermore, is eternal, and it's not going to go anywhere unless you let go of it. And as long as you do not let go of it, as long as you cling to it, to your faith, to your confidence, to your conviction, to your dreams, to your belief that everything you are doing is for a purpose. And even though you are uncomfortable right now, even though you may feel broken right now, you are not broke. You are not defeated. You are not in despair. You are right where you need to be, because this is the pathway to the blessings that you seek. Because you have no choice but to lean into your faith. Think about it. When you was going through those things in the past, you had no choice but to lean into your faith then. So therefore, you have no choice but to lean into your faith now in the present. You have to do it for you. You have to do it for your business. You have to do it for your career. You have to do it for your dreams. You have to do it for your family, for your community, for anybody you love. But first and foremost, you got to do it for you. Because without you, everything else don't even matter. So seasonal depression is here. It might get some licks off of you, but it ain't gonna stop you. It's not gonna mow you down. You're gonna rise above this. You will rise above this. We will rise above this. I know this to be true. Just as everything I said on this podcast is for you, it's for me too. Trust and believe that. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. The past tense, the past anxiety, the past depression has no merit right now on the present that you are living in. Because just as you overcame it before, you will overcome it again, and you will overcome it in the future. This is simply a pathway to the abundance and the blessings that you want in your life and that you will receive. If this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.